The third is pursuing excellence in everything that we do. Pursuing excellence in everything we do. We're not perfect. We don't pursue perfection because we'll never be perfect. But we do strive to pursue excellence in what we do. And everything that we do, we reevaluate it. You know, every week after worship, we have a team of people who just go through and say, hey, what went wrong and what didn't, and what went right in the worship service? How can we do it better next week than we did last week? And so we're evaluating everything. I have a little notepad next to me in worship, and I try not to get it out too often because then it inhibits my worship. But there are times I'm going to write down, you know, gosh, I think we can do that better next time. And I ask people to help me with my sermons in this way. Our producer of worship, Saturday night, many times I'll say, Connie, tell me, how can I make the sermon better tomorrow? Now, again, I couldn't have done that, you know, early on in my ministry. Today, my hope is excellence and effectiveness. And that means if somebody can help me be more effective, then do it. Help me. And so that desire, that pursuit of excellence. And you know, excellence is found, I find, in the little things. Have you noticed that? It's in the little details that we miss it. Now, if you look around here, you're going to find a million things that aren't excellent yet. So I'm just telling you, we're not excellent, but we're striving for excellence. The other day, I walked out of the chapel in an evening wedding, and the parking lot lights were all off. And part of what I realized was our parking lot lights are on a timer, and you know, the days are getting shorter, and nobody had gone through to change the timer. Well, you know, when you have a wedding with a large number of people who don't go to church here and they walk out to the parking lot and it's pitch black, I mean, that's just a little thing, isn't it? But that little thing gives you a feeling, you know? There are a host of those little things, and so I'm wondering, what are the little things in your church that you need to be paying attention to, mindful of? One thing that gets me is when I walk in bathrooms. You know, if you go to a restaurant and you walk in a bathroom and it looks gross, how do you feel about eating at that restaurant? Right. I mean, you know, there are lots of things like that. One of the things that we did with our trustees is I asked our trustees at one of their trustees meetings to take little pocket cameras or digital cameras with them, and we broke up the entire facility, and I asked them to each walk a part of the facility and see what's not excellent in the area that they walked in. I don't know if they ended up using the cameras or not. I wasn't at the meeting, but I know they did walk through the whole facility, and they looked in the building and outside the building, and they came back and they saw places our concrete was broken on the sidewalks, and somebody said, hey, we got to fix that concrete over there. And a place where a tree was broken off at the trunk, and it had been like that for weeks, you know, and was anybody ever going to do anything about it? So, you know, the light bulbs weren't working over here, and this wasn't right over there, and so they came back and they had a renewed effort at making sure that what we did was with excellence. You know, your facilities say something about how important you think what you do is. I was asked once to go visit a church building not far from here. The pastor said, would you come and just give me your impressions of what the facility's like? And I walked in from the parking lot. The first thing I noticed was that they'd laid the trash out in black garbage bags, and the trash man hadn't come, and the dogs had torn open the trash bags, and there was trash on the church lawn. Second thing I noticed is the grass wasn't mown properly, and so it looked like it was going to seed. Walked inside, and they were doing a collection for missions, you know, with clothing, but it was just big black garbage bags laid there in a big pile in the center. You know, how cool would it have been if they'd had a display rack, you know, with all those things laid out. And then they'd taken the bags and put them back in a back room and then just laid it out. Then I would have thought, how cool is this? The church is doing a missions drive. Instead, I thought, this looks like a kind of a dumpy place. And the pastor, let me show you our sanctuary. I said, I don't want to see your sanctuary. I want to see your nurseries. Take me to your nurseries. Because the people in this community have babies, and they're going to go to the nursery before they make it to the sanctuary. I walked in there, and the first thing I did was, I said, do you smell that? Yeah, I kind of do. I said, what does that smell like to you? I don't know. I said, well, it smells like mold and mildew to me and maybe a little dirty diaper mixed in. I said, if I live in one of these homes around here and I have a baby and I go to your nursery and it smells like mold or mildew, do you think I'm going to leave my child in your nursery? Now let's look at your toys. And there were Barbies with their heads ripped off and typewriters with the, you know. I mean, kids don't even know what typewriters are today, but typewriters with the keys all gummed together. And I said, you know, somewhere in here, you got to say, let's do this with excellence so that when a family who's unchurched walks into our nursery, they go, wow, these people really love children. And then we walked into the sanctuary, you know, and there was ceiling tiles with, you know, drip stains on them, which we have around this building. We're constantly trying to replace those kind of things. But are you doing what you do with excellence? Is you're preaching with excellence, your programs with excellence, you're building with excellence? And, you know, the thing I love about excellence is it's relative. What was excellent for us when we had 90 people a Sunday is different than what's excellent today. We didn't need to be excellent by today's resurrection standards. We needed to be excellent by the standards of a church that had 90 people a Sunday in worship. But the leader has to drive that process for excellence. Leaders in the church are longing to see things done with excellence.